It's almost!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance.
Hi, you're watching First Sports. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, Indian cricketer Virat Kohli announces his retirement from Tests. In an emotional post that went up earlier in the day, Virat said, "It tested me, shaped me and taught me lessons for life." This comes, of course, days after his skipper Rohit Sharma quit from the longest format too. Is there a coincidence? What transpired leading to Kohli's exit? And how does this affect the Indian dressing room? Pakistan Super League is yet to take off after all the bravado shown by the PCB of the tournament continuing in the UAE. It now stands suspended, with players vowing they will never return to play cricket in Pakistan again. How has this tussle that they initiated with India hurt them? How hard has their credibility in the cricketing world been struck? And Afghanistan does it again. This time they have decided to ban chess, all under the garb of Islam. How true is this, and how will this move hurt the country at a time when voices against the Taliban regime are only growing? All lined up for you, but first a look at the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with football, Barcelona and Real Madrid played out a 7-goal El Clasico spectacle that could decide the La Liga title race. Barcelona beat Madrid 4-3 to extend their lead by 7 points at the top. Kylian Mbappe's hat-trick went in vain as Lamine Yamal's goal and Rafinha's brace saw Barcelona register their 26th win of the season. With 3 games remaining, Barcelona need 1 more win to clinch the La Liga title. In Premier League, Manchester United were handed their 17th loss of the season by London club West Ham. Tomasz Sosek and Jared Bowen's goals were enough for West Ham to go past United in the points table, who are, by the way, stuck at 16th. In women's cricket, India beat Sri Lanka by 97 runs in the final of the Tri-Nation Series that was played between India, South Africa and Sri Lanka. Smriti Mandhana's 116 took India to 342. In response, Sneh Rana picked up 4 wickets to bowl out Sri Lanka for 245. Rana was named Player of the Series for picking up 15 wickets in the 5 games. In tennis, world number 3 Carlos Alcaraz has entered the round of 16 of the Italian Open. The Spaniard beat Laszlo Djere in straight sets. Alcaraz will now face Karen Khachanov as he eyes his first title since the Monte Carlo Masters win in April this year. Horse racing jockey Junior Alvarado has been fined $62,000 in the Kentucky Derby and has been suspended for 2 races for striking the horse more than what is permissible. Alvarado whipped the horse 8 times. That's 2 more times than what's allowed. This was Alvarado's second offence in a 180-day-long period. And over in the NBA, Oklahoma City Thunder have leveled their conference semi-final series against Denver Nuggets. City Thunder beat Nuggets 92-87 to make it 2-all in the 7-match series. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 25 points. The two will now face again on the 14th of May in game number 5. Just the most poignant words to leave a career behind. A career that saw some blinding highs and some depths filled with despair too. One that transformed a whole generation in Indian cricket. And with those words, India's men's cricket squad will travel to England without 2 of their senior-most players. Rohit Sharma announced his retirement last week. It was a quiet exit, no drama and no drum roll. Virat Kohli was set to follow his skipper out, and here we are, tasked with diving deeper to give you more on this retirement, how it came about, was it timed right, who prompted this and what it means for Indian cricket. Of course, reports emerged some days ago of Virat Kohli wanting to step aside from Test cricket, and there was utter confusion and mayhem around what actually led to this. While certain reports claim that Kohli himself had approached the BCCI and put forth his intention to retire from Test cricket and that they didn't want him to, there were contrary reports that emerged right afterwards stating that it was not Virat Kohli initiating this call at all, that the board, like they had indicated to Rohit Sharma earlier, had done the same with Virat Kohli as well, saying Test cricket needed a shift now. And this was the year to rejig the squad, look to the future, groom the outfit that will take Indian cricket forward. After the highs of stalwarts like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli in particular. Indian cricket today is a hotbed. There's a lot happening, especially with the strained relations between India and our neighbours Pakistan, and with India's test performance over the last year not really living up to all the expectations it's generated. Change and transformation have been the buzzwords. Looking ahead to the future, the next generation to take charge. It is the most disruptive phase for any sporting side the world over, and it was a while coming here for Indian men's cricket squad. Before we dive any deeper, how has the internet reacted to Virat Kohli's announcement of retirement? But before all this, a lot of international cricketers who are commentators now were also jumping into the raging debate. Should Virat Kohli really quit now? Is Test cricket done with him? Can the Indian batting lineup look as good without Virat in the 11? Safe to say the popular sentiment was that Virat was not done, not just yet, that he has some more long-form cricket left in him. The Indian batting lineup is rather inexperienced without Virat Kohli in the mix and are bound to be overwhelmed in his absence, starting with the England series. But this was bound to happen, and maybe it is the most accurate time. I too believe a player of Virat Kohli's stature is crucial to any dressing room, even today, even after a year or two. He's fitter than he ever was, he's hungry, he yearns to keep winning and keep performing. And yes, is an inspirational figure in a dressing room that will have a bunch of youngsters with him. Let's look at what he's really achieved in all the time that he's been here. Of course, he was shy of that magical figure of 10,000 runs, but he has been the most to score those runs in Test cricket for India, 30. He was the captain with the highest runs scored in this format as well, and has had the most double hundreds too, 7 of them. Virat Kohli in Test, that's the highest by any captain. That's 254, the individual score, that's unbeaten. And of course, he's, like I mentioned earlier, the most Test runs by an Indian captain. That's a magical number there, and it could have obviously gone much more. This is, of course, another achievement, a landmark achievement for him as a captain as well. Most Test wins that he's achieved, that's 40 in his career. So yes, it's been a magnificent ride for him, and he's obviously set a path for Indian cricket. But here's where the argument shifts. He's not exactly had a peachy time in Australia. Sure, he scored 100 there, but nothing came after that knock. He was struggling, and it was there for everyone to see. England, right around the corner, has its own demons, especially when it comes to Virat Kohli. But let's also, for a moment, not consider his form. After all, form is temporary and class is permanent. Look at it from the point of view of an Indian cricketing setup. India failed to reach the World Test Championship final. They had a miserable series against New Zealand at home last year, a whitewash, very, very rare. A difficult tour to Australia, and now with the series against England, a new fresh cycle begins, a cycle that will last another few years, with the next WTC final slotted for 2027, one that India wants to host. Can Virat Kohli play 2 formats with the rigorous IPL thrown in between till 2027? An IPL that promises to be bigger soon, with more matches included, and thus increasing the window to nearly 3 months. The answer has to be no. If the BCCI and Virat wanted to continue, it had to be till 2027. It couldn't have been for however long Virat felt he could go on till. Because that just means you have frozen a key role in that Indian batting lineup, the number 3, number 4 slot, which is critical in any squad. That's exactly where the best bat, for someone to step up and occupy it, if and when Virat does exit, so much more daunting, especially when it's unplanned. And that just throws India's strategies and all possible plans right out of the window. Yes, India probably is not ready to fill the void Virat Kohli will leave in that middle order, in that dressing room. There is little doubt to that. It's a massive spot that is tough to fill. And not just that, the infectious energy and his cricketing acumen, it'll be near impossible for anyone else in this generation to match that. But India will just have to try to take that aggression, that hunger to set higher standards that Kohli reintroduced to this dressing room and take it forward. They may fail. A young outfit led by Shubman Gill, who's still starting to find his own feet in international cricket, is far from ideal, but it just shows some vision, some sense of direction, and that the fact that they are willing to take that leap of faith, that they are willing to fail, to falter and grope along to find their way, but at least a way forward. It would mean looking ahead and not glancing behind, and that's the best place to restart post Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. India and Pakistan agreed to a ceasefire over the weekend to de-escalate the situation in South Asia, but the peace lasted just some moments. Pakistan violated it by launching drones into the Indian airspace. India, being the more measured nation here, only defended the attacks. Just goes on to show who is the aggressor and who is seeking peace in this whole fight against terrorism. And what's also followed this has been a reality check for Pakistan cricket too, because when the Pakistan Super League or the PSL was halted owing to cross-border tensions, the PCB chief and the Interior Minister of Pakistan, Mohsin Naqvi, made tall claims. He blamed India for imposing war in the nation and said it was the safety of the international players playing in the PSL that was PCB's primary concern.
The extremely irresponsible and dangerous act by India, deliberately targeting the Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium, was clearly aimed at disrupting the ongoing PSL. In the light of this threat, the board has decided to shift the remaining matches to the UAE to ensure the safety of our domestic and international players, who are our valued guests.
But the truth is, they put the very same international players' safety and security in jeopardy. Media reports claim 4 Australian cricketers, Sean Abbott, Ben Dwarshuis, Ashton Turner and Mitch Owen, had a particularly close call before they left for home. The PCB organised a chartered flight for these players from the airport that is close to Pakistan's military base. So much for ensuring the safety of international players.
After landing in Dubai, when we heard that a missile struck the airport 20 minutes after we took off from the airport, the news was scary as well as sorrowful. And now after reaching Dubai, we are feeling relieved.
And to think that Pakistan was vehement about the PSL continuing, no matter the situation at hand, no matter the close shaves and security concerns, they were determined to resume despite one game being called off, the one in Rawalpindi on the 8th of May. But PSL could not continue in Pakistan. They couldn't afford that, no matter how bullish they would seem. They announced UAE as the alternate venue, the venue for the remainder of the fixtures for this edition, right up to the final. That was originally scheduled to take place on the 18th of May. But sense prevailed eventually when they finally decided to suspend the tournament altogether, and that came a couple of days ago. Needless to say, this growing uncertainty in Pakistan yet again has rattled many of the cricketers who've been involved in the league. New Zealand all-rounder Daryl Mitchell has vowed never to return to Pakistan to play cricket again. England player Tom Curran was struck with fear, said to have been caught, and I quote, crying like a baby. The reluctance of foreign players to come back to Pakistan to play cricket was only confirmed by Lahore Qalandar player Rishad Hossain, who is a foreign cricketer himself from Bangladesh.
Foreign players like Sam Billings, Daryl Mitchell, Kushal Pereira, David Visa, Tom Curran, all of them were so frightened. Landing in Dubai, Mitchell told me that he would never go to Pakistan again, especially in this kind of scenario. Overall, they were all horrified.
Before the start of the tournament, Pakistan players claimed they could surpass IPL, that they would lure the IPL viewership onto PSL, that PSL would prove their might as a cricketing league by putting out an entertaining brand of cricket this year. Maybe they first need to match the level of meticulous organization and careful consideration that IPL authorities and the BCCI have exercised here. Because unlike Pakistan, the Indian Cricket Board put the safety of their players first, Indian and international. Pakistan's decision to halt matches only came when a drone crashed near the Rawalpindi Stadium. This was hours before a crucial PSL game. India, on the other hand, suspended the ongoing match between Delhi and Punjab in Dharamshala owing to warnings in Jammu, an area that is still 386 kilometers away. And it isn't just that. The IPL's first course of action was to suspend the IPL, the league, for a week. No relocation. It is India's league and will only be played here unless there's a situation that was just not in anyone's control, like a pandemic that forced the IPL out of the country just some years ago. The BCCI and the IPL Governing Council first took the most sensible step, that is to temporarily suspend the league before taking any other call. They are still in talks, of course, to ascertain exact dates of the resumption, which will happen soon, pushing for a May finish with minimum fuss and maximum impact. They did this, a systematic process, because security, national concerns, a political dialogue that's underway was more important than a cricket league. This also gave enough time for all the international players to return home. The way PSL was handled despite tensions in the country, a situation they can only blame themselves for, and the people in power for them, has once again put Pakistan's credibility as a cricketing host for international events on the back burner. Because if players are vowing never to return to Pakistan, will their respective boards do otherwise? New Zealand's Daryl Mitchell swore he would never come back to Pakistan, a cricketer whose country actually did their bit in ensuring cricket in Pakistan never halted. New Zealand has been one of the cricketing countries that have regularly toured Pakistan, including a series last year, a bilateral, and a tri-series earlier this year before the Champions Trophy. They did that despite matches getting washed off, poor stadium facilities and improper lighting systems, even injuring one of their own. But there's, after all, just that much that anyone can take. All cricket boards will have to put the concerns of their own players first. Clearly, Pakistan has failed again, not just in ensuring safety to all of the cricketers who were involved in their league, but also in providing cricket to their own people. Sure, they will continue to issue bizarre statements blaming India for it all, but what they really need to do is ask themselves, were they a good host? The fact that they aren't good neighbors has been well documented and re-emphasized thanks to the events of the last few days, but the least they could be is a good cricket host. But that too is now back to level 0. Switching focus to another neighbor of ours and another ridiculous ban, Afghanistan is fighting a battle within their own country against their regressive Taliban regime, a regime that has slashed the growth of sports. In the latest move, Taliban has banned chess in Afghanistan. They claim that the sport is forbidden, that it is against Islamic laws.
There are religious considerations regarding the sport of chess. Until these considerations are addressed, the sport of chess is suspended in Afghanistan.
Not the first time Taliban has used religion as a shield to uproot sports from the country. Ever since taking charge in 2021, Taliban has gradually imposed one law after the other, at least what they claim to be laws. Last year, authorities banned professional mixed martial arts. Reason? They were too violent and problematic. Participation of female athletes is almost non-existent now. The Afghanistan women's team was suspended in cricket, a decision that saw massive backlash from top cricketing nations the world over. Australia, England, South Africa, to name a few. The decision to ban chess has received backlash from the people of Afghanistan themselves. Azizullah Gulzada, a cafe owner in the city that has hosted informal chess now for years, feels the ban would hurt both his business and the mental well-being of Afghans everywhere.
There really aren't that many programs or specific activities available for the youth. No gambling took place. chess is widely played across other Muslim majority countries.
The bigger question to ask here is chess really anti-Islamic? Or any sport for that matter, because athletes who are proud Muslims, players who come from Islamic countries continue to play chess and have reached great heights. Nadirbek Abdusattorov is ranked 6th and he hails from Uzbekistan. Alirez Firusha is an Iranian-French chess player who played for Iran till 2021. Shakhriyar Mamdirov from Azerbaijan is ranked 14th currently. Sport, if anything, instills values for life of team spirit, leadership, taking victories and defeats in your stride. It makes you a well-rounded human being and equips you for challenges and hurdles that life may throw at you. A recent incident, in fact, proved that religious views and sport can coexist. Nadirbek Yakuboev kicked up a massive storm when he refused to shake hands with India's Vaishali Ramesh Babu during a tournament. He said his religious beliefs forbade him from doing so. But following the criticism he received, he did some damage control by apologizing to Vaishali, a move that turned everyone around.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What happened? Goodbye. Yeah, see you.
What this incident highlighted, of course, was that despite being a devout Muslim, Nadirbek found a way to tread the middle path. And if playing chess was indeed against Islamic values, he wouldn't be where he is today. He wouldn't be playing chess at all. To address another one of Taliban's concerns, the sport brings gambling into the picture. Which sport doesn't? Cricket for years has been embroiled in gambling. The sport sees a massive influx in betting, particularly during mega multi-nation or multi-team tournaments. But does Taliban think it that way? Clearly not, because it is a sport that they themselves love, a sport that has seen their men's team winning accolades over the last few years. Clearly, what's ruling their many decisions is probably not based on Islamic values when it comes to sporting calls, but their own interests or the lack of it. What Afghanistan is failing to understand is that sport is now possibly the only way to put the country on the world map. Currently, Afghanistan is known for war, being unsafe for women, and stricter laws. The only silver lining in all of this is their Afghan men's team, who with their consistent performances at the ICC events have risen to a stature where they are being perceived as the second best team in Asia after India. But if Taliban continues to use religion as a convenient tool to curb the existence of sports in the country itself would never have a story similar to that of the rise of their men's cricket team to tell. Time for last serve. North Korea is slowly and gradually taking strides in the sporting world. After organizing the international marathon, the country hosted an amateur golf tournament for the first time since 2016, with 30 golfers taking part. Take a look. That wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll of course see you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care. Bye-bye.